An age ago, the beating heart of our people was a king who knew only victory. He wanted nothing more than an honorable death on the battlefield. Yet, none could match him, and so he wandered the earth, becoming lost in time and tide. Then we too lost our honest purpose, while silk-clad men sat upon the throne. But tremble now, all cities that lay under the stars, for out of the shadows and mists of the land of promise, our courage has been rekindled, our heart has returned, and the world will burn.
Oops. I forgot to add everybody to the chat. How you doing? This is Comic Book Team Up, the show where RJ from the Fourth Age and myself, we invite guests. Sometimes we don't invite guests. Sometimes we just feel like talking with each other. But this week we got Darksyde Comics. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're great. Thank you so much for having us. Having a great time so far. I mean, I'm just woke up, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what time is it? You told me, but I was too busy trying to.
No worries. It's almost, let's say, free after midnight. Yeah.
Oh, you had to take a little nap?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Otherwise, I couldn't make it.
RJ, we got Europeans. How do you feel about that?
They're staying up late, and I'm looking at this comic that they got in the background that you sent the link for. That looks amazing. I got no problem with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, since you said it, we might as well bring it up. Speak of the devil, and what's going on? Okay, my StreamYard's acting weird over here. So you two guys, Marianus and David, are the creators of Gemini Crusaders, the Atomic Conductor.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Well, it's a fantasy book with science fiction elements, and basically it's a war between aliens and two girls and their soldiers from the kingdom in medieval times. I chose medieval times because I think, hey, that's a cool setting because they don't have normally the equipment to battle, something like that, because they, of course, don't know what aliens are. Now, the reason that aliens are invading, because hundreds of years ago, there was a war because there was other aliens involved too, basically exterminators. Basically, the gist is there was some aliens crashing into Earth. But before that, there was a group of other aliens tried to warn, ancient medieval times, but they were being shunned away because they all look a little bit weird. And then later, when the meteor crashed in the mountains, the whole village was then covered with red mist. And people were killed, disfigured, and never to be seen again. And that started the war between the exterminators with bioweapons and the aliens. Now, they supposedly defeated the aliens, and they're now 800 years later, those aliens are back, but the bioweapons basically are not there anymore, right? They are broken during the war, disappeared, and some hidden. But the sisters found a way to operate that and also how to use them. Because those things in the world, those bioweapons called pylons, is now basically a part of the world. People talk about it, they have festivals about it, they worship them to a certain degree, but also staying away from them because they think there are more than human. Yeah.
So we got good aliens and we got like bad aliens. So it's
Yes. Yes.
aliens. They're the bad guys that crash land on Earth and wreck shit and stuff. Then there's like the good aliens that came with bioweapons to exterminate the
Yes.
bad ones, so to speak. For like, for the humans of that time, all of that it's like, they are used to the medieval times. They are like very superstitious. They don't know a lot about science and stuff. And so when they see this giant bioweapons, it's like, oh my god, that's from the devil, or oh, that's a sign from God and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
exactly that.
superstitions and religious, and I mean, it doesn't get into religious stuff. Like the things people of that time would believe, that plays a little bit of a role in the story of how the medieval people handle with these bioweapons.
Exactly.
At this, I'm just gonna bring up the trailer. Can we watch the trailer? Like,
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
I ask because sometimes there's copyrighted music and things like that. So I'm
No,
gonna
it's not copyrighted. Yeah.
okay, and then we'll do that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
yeah.
It's funny because I know you said it was like a sci-fi fantasy set in the future, but I was like, that girl's got glasses on. That's not in the old days, So it threw me for a bit, but I like it. Which one of you guys is the artist and who's the writer?
We are basically both the writers. The artist is Sid Tellis. He's from Brazil. He said, I never go on stream because I'm very uncomfortable for that. So
Yeah,
we always,
I understand that. Yeah.
we always communicate him through email or Facebook. All right. So
Yeah.
he's very uncomfortable on screen. So we ask him many times to come over and, talk about the book, but he says, no.
Yeah, my colorist, he's like, I don't want to be on screen. Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, probably not everybody's then built for, stuff like this, right? They rather have, just give me a room, just give me some paper or some digital and pencils. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Because this is beautiful. RJ, what do you think of this?
I love this art. This is beautiful. I mean, you got beautiful women in it. First of all, yeah, you got your South Americans. They love to draw the beautiful women in there.
Yeah.
But I want to know who's the main character though that you're going to focus on within the book itself.
It's basically the both sisters at this point. The blonde girl Isabel is a little bit more popular because, well, she's a beautiful looking girl, and she is basically the nerdy, goofy girl that likes to go into libraries, right? And she is fascinated, basically obsessed with those bioweapons, right? Well, the other one is more like a protective sister, more like a provider, looking to hunt for the family, etc. And basically her backup. But so it's basically both girls, but at this moment a little bit more spotlight on the blonde one.
Yeah.
So the blonde is more like the classical mistress in distress, kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
she's more like the bookworm, whereas the other sister is more like the tomboy kind of character, and you can see she's like taking charge with a bioweapon in the back, and
she's totally not interested in all this stuff, right? She's just doing her own thing. She likes to sleep under the stars, and well, Isabel here, and she wants to know everything about what happened 800 years ago with the war, and then they found pieces of those bioweapons. They researched that, and then they find later a real one that they can use. Right?
Okay. What is the name? Maybe you told us already. But what is this knight's name here with the sword?
Oh, that's Bertram. Bertram is basically a side character, but this is one of the covers, by the way. But I think he's gonna be an important part of the story because it's gonna be a three-parter. Because I want to have those classic characters, from back in the day with women that cannot defend themselves because that's not the role back in the time, and we have those classic valor, those knights in shining armor doing all the heavy lifting and being brave and etc. So he's going to be an important. He's also fighting in a battle, by the way, with the soldiers.
Yeah, the coloring is really good too.
Yeah.
Who does your coloring?
It's Martin Martins. I mean, we have two colorists, by the way. Martin Martins did the first 10 pages, and the rest of them is Federico Siok. He has a different kind of style, more vibrant colors. Martin has a lot of cool tricks on up his sleeve. I really love what he's doing.
Yeah, this
is two of the this is the one of the bioweapons in the front. And the inspiration for doing that is more like a tower defense kind of bioweapon instead of the things that walk on legs. So I think, okay, let's add some spiders legs in here, mechanical spider legs, and then horse heads that shoots fire and other stuff.
Yeah.
The reason that there are fire skulls from horses in there is that some of those bioweapons called pylons can regenerate to a certain degree and add actually some weapons to their arsenal by absorbing dead matter from the battlefield and manipulate them a little bit here and there. That's why it looks like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you said it was a fantasy sci-fi mix, but
Yes.
Most of the time when people say that, it's more one than the other. But I'm looking at this like that's a knight on a horse. Fighting aliens. This looks like a good hybrid, and I really love these alien designs.
Yeah, I mean, the basic gist in the very beginning was somebody mentioned, "Hey, why don't you use robots?" And I said, "Okay, but that's been done before, and I'm not against people doing that. I'm not against the idea, but I want to do something totally different." And I said, this is just walking bioweapons, right, with different shapes and forms. They are to a certain degree sentient. And everything they create, let's say there is no physical weapons from those bioweapons. There's not guns that they can pick up. Everything they create comes from themselves. That's what I think it's cool about it. They can transform to a certain degree, not unlimited. They don't have morphing powers, but they can transform into other things like here to defend themselves or attack certain creatures.
Okay. Yeah,
So
really
this
nice
guy
art.
He's in some kind of an attack pylon, and he has this bioweapon art that shoots bioblast and other stuff, and then he transforming into something. Well, it shoots rockets, more like an artillery kind of.
So it adapts its shape, but it's not like. That's one of my pet peeves. Is a 6'2" guy could transform into a giant hulking monster. You know what I mean? Like, I do think like shape changing is cool, but there has to be like a logical limit to it. Otherwise,
It has limitations. Yeah.
But which brings me to a question: if this is fantasy and sci-fi, is there magic in this world also?
No. I don't want to have overcomplicate things and adding magic to it. There is a witch in here, but it's more like people see her as a witch instead of magical powers and etc.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
RJ, would
It
you say-
actually reminds me of early 2000. There's a lot of anime and manga came out early 2000s of this type, kind of like Legend of the Legendary Heroes and things like that.
Yes.
This is what it reminds me of.
Cool.
Yeah.
I gotta say the Bertram character, that's kind of a character that started to growing up on us as we were writing the story. I think from the original script there was not, I don't know if he was part of the original script, but as we were writing it, it was like, we need to have a knight character, like someone to represent the humans and the struggles and people that don't have access to these pylons because not everyone can pilot them. There's like a whole reason why the sisters can do it and so forth and so on. But like we need someone to be like the voice of the medieval times of manly men, like, for the kingdom, knights, and let's protect, and so forth and so on. And that is this character. And it's also, I think it's really cool that he has no powers, he has no pylons, he has nothing like that. But he's like, we gotta fight anyway, and come on, and yeah,
Exactly.
if anyone has read Attack on Titan, that's like the Levi character, so to speak.
Everybody's like, the big thing these days is representation. I got to be represented. I don't buy that, but what I is somebody to root for. And this guy Bertram looks heroic to me. So, I mean, I know really nothing about your comic other than he's saving a hot blonde, and he's cool looking. So I kind of want to root for him right away.
Yeah, that was the purpose. I said to the Alan Goldman who did the cover, I said, just give us something really cool and heroic and from medieval times. And of course, we have all these monsters and stuff on the background. But the foreground that really pops, that really needs people to see, is this guy, going in, try to give his life for, if that's necessary for the kingdom and for the citizens, and rescuing this girl. I think that's very important.
Oh, look at this
really
thing. Are you guys riffing on the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. Everybody says that. I think. Yeah. So Sid Tellis is making this cover. He's also the interior artist, by the way, and he's using some kind of a digital watercolor technique. And I said, he sent us some sketches, and he comes up with this. Yes, let's go with this, and it represents or reference to a little bit Lord of the Rings with the the hobbits hiding away from the wraiths and all that stuff. I think this is super cool.
Yeah, I really like the alien design on this. I'm so tired of aliens there's two types of aliens that I'm just sick of. Is they're pretty much just humans with bumps on their heads like the Star Trek, and I understand that there's a budget reason. But the other aliens that I just don't like is it's a cat guy from space, or it's a lizard guy from space.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Or it's a dog guy from space. It's some sort of amalgamation of Earth terrestrial beings.
Yes.
So this is nothing on Earth.
No, absolutely not.
Michael Bancroft is here, and Michael Bancroft says it's Lord of the Rings plus Stranger Things. I got to say,
Hey, Michael, thanks for coming, man.
Hunted by an humanoid plant in the woods. Yeah, that's just it. I don't know. Is this a plant? Is this animal? Is this mineral? Well, it's not.
It's
is it animal, vegetable?
It's neither of them.
It's cool. Yeah. It's jello.
But I wanted to look as freaky as possible. So, and then Sid came up with this. And dude, this is it. Just put it on the cover. And then created this, and when it all comes together, I was just blown away how good it looks.
Like, this is like classic. Oh, it's Pal Roderick. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Pal does he does Genuine Comics by Dave Brink's Genuine Comics. I love his art.
Yeah, fellow Dutchie. Yeah. This is pretty cool. So these are all the cover C. Okay, and now I'm reading it. All right. And what is this? What am I looking at here? No, this is one of the 4 sketch cards that we have. So everyone that buys the book physical gets a sketch card. And the reason that I can do a sketch card, but I think it would be cool if it looks like a more like a painting style.
Yeah, I do like this. Yeah.
From a page of a book, it
looks like
in there. Yeah.
Well, RJ, am I saying this right? An illuminated manuscript?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good word for it. Yeah, absolutely. So I think this looks amazingly. So this is one of the other sisters, Vivienne, and I'm just really liking this one. It's looking very gracefully. Like I said, she's a hunter. She's a provider. She's strong. She's not a girl boss, but she's a protective type.
I gotta warn you, in my comic Heroic Tales 1, there's a scene of the patriarch hunting, and he kills an elk.
Yeah.
Man, I got more people pissed off. There's another scene in that comic that I consider to be very shocking, to the point that I almost took it out of the comic.
Oh no.
I left it in. That a couple of people, they understood the story. They understood he was the bad guy, but the hunting, people it was like polarizing. People like, oh yeah, finally a superhero that hunts and provides for his family. And other people like, why'd you have him hunt? He could go to the store.
I could go to the store.
He's on his own. Like he's keeping his family away from people for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
But just let you know that the poor animal got killed. They didn't have refrigerators and supermarkets back there or up there in the. It's not even the medieval times. What do you call this time?
Well, it's basically it's just medieval time, but there is no it's not based on realism or
Right.
certain
Yeah.
time period or something.
This looks really good.
I know John already complimented your colors, but I got to say it's beautiful. I always think the comic should be the colors should pop. You know, concentrate on primary colors and make everything distinct so you can see. It's one of the big things I've always looked for in a good comic, and this has it.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you,
RJ, they just reached out to me, and this is going to sound arrogant. I don't mean to be arrogant. I'm just being realistic. A lot of people say like, "Oh, can I come on your channel?" And then I say the same thing, and I said it to you guys. Well, let me see what your comic looks like. You know, I've been hurt before. I'm seeing him for the first time, and it's unfortunately something I didn't want to promote. You know what I mean? But this, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good. This, you know, right as soon as you sent me the preview, I was like, all right, let's book them.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, man.
Nobody cries for robot bugs. Well, apparently people are crying for bugs and Starship Troopers, that they're really the good guys. That's
How many times has that thing been brought up? You know, like that's not the first time I hear this. Like, oh, the bugs are actually the good guys. It's like
Exactly.
it's just commies hate humans. That's basically it.
yeah. I'm rooting for the bugs. You mean like the giant killer, everything eating bugs? Like what? Brain, brain zapping bugs. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love the movie Starship Troopers. I can't even. RJ, did you read the book?
No, I haven't read the book.
Oh, RJ, you got to read the book. It's basically a philosophy book, told through science fiction, talking about the nature of patriotism and what it means to be a citizen and your duties and stuff. With the backtrack, just like most good science fiction. 1984 is a political treatise set in the science fiction world. RJ, it's right up your alley.
I heard it's the movie is way different than the book, right?
Yeah, they're different. They're the same in name only. Like,
yeah,
there's a couple of things like they discourage you from joining the military. But the people who talk about the movie, they're like, because they're elitists. No, they only want people that really, really understand the hardships.
Yes,
understand the dangers. And because of that, when you went through the trials and tribulations, then you get to vote. But it's open to anybody, men, women, it doesn't matter. But they make it as hard as possible because they only want the dedicated people. They don't want people who just like, I just wanted college money. That's why I joined,
right.
which we have here in the States a lot. I don't want to go to war. I just wanted college money. The bugs are the good guys who violently eviscerated human beings to shred without mercy. Yes, and
exactly.
They killed the poor Mormons, if you remember. Mormons they may be a little weird, but they're nice people, Mormons. I lived out in Albuquerque. The Mormons were they're the best neighbors. I don't care what they believe, but they were fun family people. The kids were well adjusted.
Yeah, we don't have Mormons in the middle.
I don't know any Mormons. I'm sorry.
I want to ask you a question about religion, but that's not the purpose of the chat. Like, do you have any, America's big, as America's big as Europe. We have strange religions. I wonder if you guys have any that we don't know about.
No, it's mostly Christianity, but with I don't want to go into that political side, but is a problem.
Yeah,
with people from different beliefs that cause problems. That's all I want to say to it. But mostly it's a Christian county or people that go to church and believe in God.
Yeah, the Mormons have historically stood up against government overreach.
Cool.
All right.
Again, I don't want to get into Mormons. That's not the whole point. But like I said, when I lived out there, I had a lot of Mormon neighbors, and like I said, what they believed to me, I couldn't accept. But for people, they were the friendliest, nicest, most helpful, cheerful, happy people, and
that's important.
That's what matters to me. Walking around.
Yeah, that's important too. Absolutely. And good.
But anyway, speaking of walking around the neighborhood, RJ lives in the woods because they won't let him meet human beings. So
really?
No, he lives in the woods.
You can tell me everything. You can tell me everything. I would believe it.
Right, RJ, you built your own house.
I did build my own house in the woods. Yes, I did.
Do you have indoor plumbing, or are you like a Sasquatch?
Yeah, we have the indoor plumbing. It's going, Mike or John.
Great.
Yeah.
Man.
In America, so you live in America in the forest and you build your own house there. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
It's
like
it's
guys,
about time to build a new one though. This one has run its course, so I'm looking at alternate. I'm always actually the one I built here just was what the heck was it? It was alternate building techniques I used mainly from Scandinavia and stuff like that. So it was very interesting.
And how long did it take to build?
A couple of years, just me and my brothers, just two guys working on it. So
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, impressive.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. Physical labor, you know, the old-fashioned way. That's something to recommend, right?
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that there's not, I don't know if you guys have any places like this over in Europe, but there's no building codes here because we're out in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, they got no problem. We wired the whole thing ourselves and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
that's
probably in
awesome.
Europe. I mean, not where I come from. I mean, our country is so small. Everything is so dense on each other. You know, there's no stuff like that. They just build houses and they keep building and building. And unfortunately, that little land that we have, it's going to slowly, you know, disappear. That's unfortunate. I like nature. I like going to, you know, go out.
Yeah,
And
no, Switzerland is super small,
yeah,
and
Switzerland.
everything is regulated. You cannot go to the forest and build something without there being like all this. No, it has to be according to the rules like this and that, and this many measures to the next tree and to the everything is regulated. It's crazy.
yeah.
There's no such thing as going to the nature and building your own stuff. Like no, this is forest land that you cannot do that.
Yeah, I know California. I'm always a little amazed. You know, I know that Europeans are always amazed at how America, like each state, is a little bit like its own country. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
so
exactly.
there's rule like if like in New York, I could carry a pistol, but I can't bring my pistol into say New Jersey. You know what I mean? Even though it's one country, you think things like that. But California has building codes that is preventing people from fixing their houses after storms.
What?
I've heard of that.
People, you have to
That's
fill
crazy.
out these paperwork, and there's Hollywood movie stars that, you know, there was rainstorms in California. They say the four seasons are firestorms, rainstorms, earthquakes, and floods.
Yeah.
That they buy these $14 million mansions and then they can't fix them, and they literally just move. Like there's been a outpouring of rich people from California to like Montana and Texas, where it's
Right.
you can fix your house without asking. Like, excuse me, sir, can I please fix my house?
That's crazy.
Just ridiculous.
Why? That's a weird law. I mean, if
Right,
my house is
Well,
broken, I need to
California
fix
is
myself.
micromanaging people's lives. Like, do you know that in California it's okay to shoplift provided you don't take it's less than $900?
What, really?
I've heard of that. Yes.
And now they're saying it's racist that all of these stores are closing because
Yeah, I mean, I see people closing stores all the time because of, you know, robbing and stealing, right? And
yeah,
so weird.
and if you stop them, you're the bad guy.
yeah. Well, it's here too. If there's some, well, not an extent in as you know in America, which is crazy to me. But I'm seeing all these clips and movies. But here as well, if somebody robs the store, which doesn't happen too often, people say, okay, we don't do anything because, you know, it's not my company and it's not also policy, right? So just take it away. But some people are just taking matters in their own hand and just following those criminals and just put them down and call the police, and that happens too. Right? Not much.
I work in New York City. I work in Manhattan. And
okay.
I'm on the subway for the first time in 20 years. And oh my God, I'm thinking about making another Twitter page. You know, I have John's Long Box, my Twitter. I was thinking of just called Manhattan's Gross, and just on Twitter. It is
clean the sewers.
It's so well. I'm also working in the tunnels, but you don't expect. You know, Manhattan has a series of tunnels, but just like yesterday there was puke in the subway. It was there in the morning at 4:00 in the morning, and it was there when I went home at 4:00.
Oh my God!
You know, just this guy's laying on the ground with no pants on and stuff. Just today, I got on the subway, and it's 6:00 in the morning. I'm getting on the subway. I'm sitting down, and a guy gets on, sits next to me, a black smelly guy, and starts screaming, "I'm gonna kill all Whitey, and I'm gonna kill all Whitey's," and I'm just like, I'm gonna be on YouTube. I'm gonna start a campaign on Friday for my new comic book, but I'm gonna be the guy who gets into a fist fight on the subway, and I'm going to jail. Will you buy my comic book, or will this? RJ, what do you think? Would you buy a comic book from a guy who beat the crap out of a homeless guy on the subway?
As long as it's got good art, John.
As long as it's got good art, RJ don't care about that.
It's good art.
So
And
I
it's for
just
justice.
sat there and stared at this guy because I literally was like, I don't know if this guy has a knife. I don't know if this guy has a piece of glass.
Yeah.
I don't know if this guy has like hepatitis and he's going to scratch me.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? So I looked around and I'm like, the only white person on the subway. And I'm like, am I going to get, like when this guy attacks me, how bad is this going to be? Oh, man, you shouldn't think like that.
Are you allowed to use, like, say, pepper spray or something?
No, you can't do anything. You have to say thank you as you're getting beat up.
Oh, man.
Oh my
In any
God.
Democrat state, you just have to.
They're going to change
You
you.
have
and
to
you
understand that you're privileged and we're oppressors and
Yeah, exactly.
because the last guy who did himself on the subway, he got cleared, but he went to trial and then after the trial, he had to pack up and move the state.
It's the world upside
I
down, man. I hear stuff like this all around the world, even in Europe. It's just
Yeah.
the world upside down.
We'll get back to your comic after, but I've been following this Ukraine and everything, and I had an epiphany that RJ, you're a smart guy. RJ's a lot smarter than I'll ever be. I had the epiphany that, like, did every war just start because politicians wanted a war? Like the average person just wanted a farm. They wanted to rescue this hot blonde with the glasses. You know what I mean? They just wanted to stay home and, like RJ, build a house with indoor plumbing. Like, I don't care about, no offense to you guys, but I don't care about like Russia and Ukraine. I don't want to go there and die.
Oh, me neither.
No, me neither. Just
And do you think the average Irish guy wants to all of a sudden be, a minority in their own? Now they're legitimately saying there's no such thing as biological Irish people. I'm like, tell that to my grandmother.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I know.
And everybody's against it. How that, and then you guys, I'm saying Europeans, you start locking up the other can't. It's like, this is just the elites just want war. Like they want.
I mean, UK is lost. I mean, we have a couple of friends in the UK, right? They are not happy what's happening there. I mean, it's just crazy what's happening over there. It's just, that what we saw in, like I said, I don't want to get into politics because
we'll get back to your comic. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, no.
That's okay.
That's okay. But the reason said my knowledge about politics is very limited. But Chris Fisk here, who is in the chat, he knows a lot. He knows a lot more about what's happening around the world than me. But what's happening in the UK, it's just like we're going back to World War II. It's just crazy what's happening there.
So now I look back at it, I'm like, was World War One, RJ, what do you think? Was World War One just the politicians wanted a war?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. It's a continuation of the Franco-Prussian War. The only reason why the Franco-Prussian War ended was because they didn't have enough soldiers left to fight. So they had to wait for another generation to replenish the ranks. Which quite literally.
Like, all right, not like, so because World War One is the cause of World War II.
Yep.
And now I'm just like, they're just causing, like, at what point is the Civil War going to happen over there in Europe? At what point do the Brits and the Irish and the Germans, and look at the French, at what point are they going to be like, all right,
let's stand up. I don't know. I believe we've just beaten in submission or something that we are feeling, or the propaganda was more like, oh, if you say something about people that causing trouble here from another country, that don't speak the language, they don't want to integrate, then you're racist.
Right.
And now, if you do that for years and years and years, and also is being taught in school, people will say, well, I cannot do anything about it because if I say something, then I will become racist, so I'm not doing anything. And then, the floodgates of the country is open, for those people, and they just come in, and nobody does anything.
I like at work, I'm in a union, and unions are typically left-wing and Democrat, and like,
right.
I gave up being quiet. Like, if anybody says anything about politics, I can't believe the Republicans won. I was like, well, I didn't I didn't vote Democrat. And like, what do you mean? I said, because I'm not a transgender person who wants to be replaced by Africans. And everybody looked at me. I'm like, I'm the only one, you know, and everybody else is like nodding, but I'm the only stupid person that won't shut up. Because I feel like I tell my wife, if you're quiet and polite, they use that against you, the politicians.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, they beat you into submission, right? Because they are turning everything around. I mean, like I said, what's happening even in Germany, you know, that politicians are turning against their citizens. I mean, you know, if you are saying something bad about an immigrant, they're gonna knock on your door,
right?
Right?
Britain just said that they're going to give harsher sentences to white men.
Yeah, it's crazy. I cannot believe I'm alive to witness this happening. Right?
I know.
It's like we're going back all the way to the you know, like fountain for black people, fountain for white people. It's like exactly the same.
Yeah, segregation.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The same racist.
Just so weird.
I think that, you know, like I can understand it for politicians and companies, you know, like these open border policies is very appealing because you're like, okay, I'm importing a lot of people, cheap labor, people that are going to vote for me because like, hey, I'm the party that let you in. And if you want more of you to come in, like you get a vote for me. You know? Like that makes sense, you know, strategically. What I don't understand is that, you know, usually when you have like a wave of immigration, you get some time for them to integrate and you know, like keep an organized society as it is. But right now it's like, no, just open border and more and more and more. There's no time for integration or anything. It's just chaos. Like,
I mean,
I think that I don't know. Okay, if you let them integrate, but if there's absolutely no time for that,
well,
there's no integration.
All four of my grandparents were born in Europe. You know what I mean? I'm you know, my mother's side were all Irish, and my father's side were all Italian. So, you know, but I don't consider myself Irish. I don't consider myself Italian. You put me in Dublin, I'd be like, I don't know where I am. Yeah. These people talk funny. I don't like the food. You put me in Rome, I'd be like, I don't speak Italian. I'm lost, and I just want to go home. You know, I want Burger King. I want to watch Scooby Doo, and I want to read comic books. I'm an American kid, so whatever, you know. But anyway, what does this have to do with your comic book? Do the bugs want to assimilate into the Earth society?
The alien bugs are an allegory for. No, that's not like it. Just for the record, that's not like that.
Yeah. Scroll down just a little bit, will you, John, to the other, the second cover. What cover is it? I think cover C. I really like cover C.
The horror cover, as I call it, is cover B, and the Power
cover C.
Cover C.
This
cover? No, the next one. This cover I like beautiful. Yeah, no, this is one campaign. Usually I don't go for multiple covers, but this is one campaign I'm going. I might have to get all three covers here. Quite honestly.
That would be cool. That would be cool. I like that.
Yeah, Powell, I'm a big fan of his. I love his top 10 that he makes with the
perfect
10. He's in the wrong
cool, super cool. Right. Yeah. Big props to Dave. And like I said, you know, we wanted to have a Paul Rodriguez cover in here. It looks this blood spatter and all these weird creatures coming from behind, attacking those girls with the broken pylon on the ground. Great, beautiful colors, very dark and ominous. You know, with the shadows in the background, a little bit of a fire. Awesome, just awesome, and the colors really pop.
Yeah, it does.
And one of the things that really, really made me that I think this makes this project different than others is the original monsters. The bioweapons, they're not the classical robots. They're something different. Also the monsters, like it's not like, I don't know, like in sci-fi they usually have, like you said, you know, like the human features or animal features, or if not, it's, you know, like something very similar to the aliens or the Zerg from StarCraft.
Yeah,
like this is something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, what I think you sent me this image first, and I was like, all right, these guys are coming on my channel. This looks really good. I got to ask: is this a limited series? Is this a one shot? Is this
the goal is 3 parts, free books rolled into one, I know we have a long way to go, but we're going to extend it for the next 30 days. So if we can, make it, and then we're going to do also on Fund My Comic Gun on Kickstarter to raise more money. But it's going to get made anyway. So no matter how it all ends, we're going to get this made. We're going to, ship it to people, and hopefully they are, loving it. I mean, that's the goal, right?
I just want to address Zach Ted. He says this is an epic panel. This is a cover. So this is the cover C.
Yes.
This is one of the covers. So yes, technically it is a panel, right? But
yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Murder Princess. If you know that manga, just this cover, especially with the blonde and the brunette fighting swashbuckler style.
Oh, I need to read that series. I mean, I read a lot of manga, but Murder Princess is not yet.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with manga. So is this your first campaign? Is this your first comic or anything?
Yes. I mean, this is the comic. This is the first comic that I made myself with my team. I was involved with another project years ago. It was more like a horror magazine called Blackheart Manor. I was basically the co-writer. And it was basically my first time dipping into, the writing process, but also, creating comics or making comics. Although, somebody else took over. And I said, you know what? I want to try it. I want to try it. I want to get the best team and colorists and editors and letterers and all that stuff. I want to get in here, and I want to make something unique and special that people say, hey, well, wow, what is this? I've never seen this before. And I want to have high quality art, right? I wanted to go all in. And I know that art is subjective, right? But I think it's also, comics is a visual medium. So if I open a comic, it has to appeal to me, although I have a very broad taste of art, what I like. But this is when I met Sid, or we both did, and he showed us his work. Mostly he did some Western black and white, and I thought, okay, this looks cool. This looks detailed. And, I'm a guy. I need backgrounds in my comics. I think that's very important for me personally. So I want to show a world around it. Not everything in front, but monsters and knights and etc. I also have some stuff in the background so that people can say, okay, this is here, this is in the valley, this is in a castle, this is, in the woods, something, surrounded, but a little bit world building.
I got to ask you, because I have a thing about names. I know what a crusader is, they're going off to do a holy war, but why are they Gemini crusaders?
Well, the girls are twins.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yes. So I say, Gemini with two eyes, etc. So then, sister crusaders, the crusading times, defending the realm and all that stuff.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. I was hoping you'd say that because, sometimes people are like, yeah, it's just a cool word, and I didn't know what it meant.
No. It has a purpose. Yeah.
It does have a purpose.
Yeah.
Like Jerusalem is being invaded by some aliens. And so the girls have to go with the pylons to Jerusalem. No, that's not the thing.
Oh, so you got a remarkably similar, a simple campaign, which I think is
yes.
Really good. You got,
I mean, like I said, this is my first campaign, and we just added this. I mean, the price point is not that good. I just changed it a little bit because it says there's 75 euros, but I need it to be $75. So I changed that just a couple of minutes ago.
Oh, I see.
Like I said, I can throw a lot of things in there, but this is also my first campaign. I have to look what works. And maybe if on round 2, on volume 2, I can add more stuff. It really depends how the campaign goes, right?
Quite honestly, I would suggest if you're going to add anything to the second campaign is to take these covers and make them into posters.
Oh, that's a
okay.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Okay.
But posters, you have a logistical problem though. Like
it depends on how you fold them.
Right. Like, do you fold them or do you roll them? And then if you roll them,
it's probably going to roll. If you want to have a poster, you don't want it to have,
Yeah, I can't stand when I get my posters and they got seams,
Yes.
Yeah.
I like what Chris Fisk says. I hope these girls aren't into astrology and crystals,
No, not really. Not really. They are not.
In college, I went on a date with a girl, and right away, her first question, "What sign are you?" And then she's like, "Let me look at your hand." And
There is a sketch card that has something like that. I mean, I can whip it up. I mean, just can't. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Share
I think
screen.
art has both subjective and objective elements to it. An art piece can actually be good, but people can, yeah, absolutely.
I honestly think the very picture here that we have in the background is a picture of what works with art and doesn't, because you have the monsters. So art typically is beautiful because it's symmetrical and proportional, whereas your monsters are grotesque and they have, jutting things outside, and that's why they're monstrous to begin with.
Yeah.
So this picture is an exact picture of what is beautiful and what is not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
good.
And
So
John, yeah.
I'm looking at you here. So it's a sketch. Okay, I thought it said stretch, like a stretch goal. I didn't understand, but I read it wrong. So you could get a sketch by the artist and the cover. That's cool.
Yeah, and a digital. That's all. Every physical backer gets a digital.
Yeah, you got in these day and age, you got to get a digital, and there you
Yep.
go. The cover A, which is beautiful. The cover B, which is beautiful. I'm with RJ. This is a tough time to pick which one I want, because I always back A covers just to be consistent.
Yeah.
But I like all three of these covers. But then you fix that. You give us all three covers over here.
Yeah, I mean, it saves on shipping costs, the whole bundle. I said, you know what? This is all of these beautiful covers. I mean, I like all of them. So why not roll them into one, right? So give people options.
And what is this? All four covers and a sketch?
Yeah, if you can click it open.
Oh, there you go. I was afraid
you get an A4 sketch.
I tricked me into spending $162.
Right. So you get an A4 from the interior artist. So if you like the interior art from Sid Tellus, you got the book, you got the original art, you got a cover select that you want, plus an A4 sketch of your own choosing.
Yeah, like again, remarkably simple.
Yeah.
I think a simple, elegant campaign is good. Let me ask you a question, because I just before we went live, I showed my campaign page out to people, and I have flip covers. And one of my friends told me that I was crazy, that instead of because I got 4 covers but only 2 books, he goes,
okay, I see what
no,
you mean.
he goes, make 4 books. You're leaving money on the table. And now I'm honestly conflicted, but I've been saying for months that it was going to be a flip book, because it's 2 15-page. Well, it's a 22-page story and a 15-page story.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yes,
the patriarch is on one cover. If you don't mind, I'm going to bring up my campaign.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Just to show. RJ, tell me what you think. So
my mind goes in the wrong direction, John. I was thinking you could just you could sell them as different books, but have it as a flip book.
right. So like,
people will get really upset with you if you did that, though.
So you see, so here, here's my cover, and people in the chat too, tell me what you think, because that's the way it's gonna look. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you could flip it. When you bag and board it, you could choose which orientation you want. And my friends are like, no, sell them. So that's you could sell 4 books at $10 each. That's $40 instead. Everybody, because you could buy a bundle for $15. He goes, dude, you're going away $30.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with that. I mean, if you have cool covers like this, why not sell it in a bundle? Right.
So, and here's the other.
Unless you want to go through with this, I said, why not?
Well, it's launching Friday, so I don't know if I have time to.
Okay.
And the other thing is,
I mean, you can still change, right? I mean, first of all, it's not launched. Second of all, you can also change something during the campaign that you said, oh man, I forgot.
Yeah, but if people buy it, then all of a sudden I break it up. They're going to be.
Yeah. So, but again, you still have time to do it if you want, of course.
RJ, what do you think? Am I making a mistake?
I've never gone in for the whole multiple covers thing,
yes.
But at the same time, since you can choose with Indiegogo campaigns, it's not like you have to buy one cover in order to get the next. So you're just giving people a choice. So if that's what the people want, give it to them.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
Or just release it like this, and then you
could do both, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about that? Like have them separate and also like a flip book if someone wants to grab it like that.
Why would they? you know, that to me is like greedy. It's like either 4 separate, well, 5 with the cosplay cover, or 3. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I
I see.
think I want to stick with the flip book. I don't know. I've been telling people I was going to do it, and then at the last minute, not doing it. I think it would damage my reputation. So I think I'm going to stick with the flip book.
I mean, yeah, why not?
You know, at the very least, I didn't go with legendary, expensive guys like I did the first campaign. So
okay, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, I know. I can see that. Yeah.
So this is gonna be like the official number 2 of Heroic Tales? Or
yes,
is this like okay?
yeah. Heroic Tales 1, I fulfilled in November, and we're just about 50% done with issue number 2, and I want to start doing it faster. You know, get maybe two issues, maybe 3 issues a year if we could. You know,
Yeah.
But and Heroic Tales is going to have 2 different characters. It's going to, you know, so I just wanted it because it all started. I didn't want to have an ad on the back cover, you know, so I'm like, what do I put on the back cover? So I had my artist make a cool image for the back cover, and then I was like, all right, what if I just put a cover on the back cover and flip the book over? So, and now people are like, people. Then I still don't know what to put on the back cover. Then, you know, I got to make more art. I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with it because I'm launching Friday, and to change things, I think people are going to be like, oh, that's a money grab, you know.
No, I'm not sure. I mean,
No, but I mean,
my perspective is more you're giving people options, right? It's not much, you know, like a money grab. I mean, if you have perks that is exuberant when it comes to prices, I think people would see, okay, what's the price and what's the value, right? You know, the balance. And if it's off balance, people will see it more like a money grab. But if you add options, I mean, people don't have to buy it, but you give them options. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this cover, and I'm noticing the fact that cover C was drawn in 2023. How long you guys been working on this book?
1.5 years, I believe. Yeah, 2 years.
yes,
Yeah,
more or less.
2.5
Yes,
years. Yeah, I believe that.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, time flies. Yeah. So I said, you know what? I want to have at least the book. It's 70% complete.
Yeah, that's. I tried to do it. My first couple of campaigns with just getting about 10 pages, maybe 20 pages done, but no, it doesn't work that way. I got caught with one of my campaigns, and I couldn't get the art done just because problems with the artists and their schedules and things like that. 70%, yeah, that's usual. I think for moving forward, the best strategy is selling a book.
Yeah, I mean, then it's nearly completion. You probably don't have to stress because, you know, life gets in the way. I've seen it with many platforms. I'm sorry, not platforms, but many campaigns, right? And I also experienced okay, I have something in my life not long ago that takes a lot of time to resolve privately. And like I said, life gets in the way. I mean, your artist can walk away, your colors can walk away, or they're getting sick, or they just don't want to do it anymore, or something happens to you. You know, there's so many things that can happen that can halt or stifle or even, destroy the campaign. So I thought to myself, you know what? I want to go in. I pay from my own pocket. I want to get this done. And then we're going to launch when I think I'm comfortable with it. And I think now is the right time.
Looks great. I really am impressed. You know,
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Question for you as a writer. Do you do full scripts, and do you instruct your artists what what panel layout you're going to use, or you just give it into his hands and say, you take off?
Yeah, we basically a little bit of a mix, right? We try to figure out what the panels would look like, or how many panels I think should be on a page. And then we create the story around it, at the same time, and we give it to Sid, and then he whips it up and he knocks it out of the park. That's
the exact thing why I love writing comics, is because the limitations allow you to be, it allows you to be more creative. If you ask me, the limitations of how many panels you can put on a page. Yeah, we always go back and forth and see, okay, what works when it comes to story flow. I mean, you can cram it all with a lot of dialogue and with a lot of panels and all small panels, which looks sometimes cool, but sometimes you need to let the art breathe. There's a couple of
moments that I think, okay, we're gonna take a step back from the action and do a little bit of a storytelling. Like them walking through the woods, like them having a conversation with themselves. They find a monastery and they find something there is in there. There's also some cool splash pages that I think, okay, this looks super awesome. I showed you something, John, right? In the beginning, I sent you a page.
Yeah.
No, something like that. I'm not sure if you want to show it or should I show it?
Do I still? Yeah, you show it. Share it on your screen and I'll bring it up because I don't have it prepared. I'd have to go through.
No worries. Okay, let me get the image.
I am one of the few people that I know of when I talk about this on my channel who actually likes the standard for some comics, not all, obviously, but the standard 9-panel layout of Keith Giffen when he did his Legion of Superheroes. He did 9-panel.
Keith Giffen, oh man, I'm a big fan of his work. I mean, I love Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, me too.
I'm old school. I like the old school Legion. From the 70s and 80s. Those were the group of people with Superboy in it as well. I grew up with those comics when I was younger, and we have the Dutch versions and even German versions. But then around the 90s, we got the original versions, and then I started collecting those. But it's very hard to come by because where I live, the Legion of Superheroes is very niche. I mean, it's more like Superman, Batman, the most popular ones. But Legion of Superheroes, man, just fantastic. Yeah. So this is this is a campfire story, and this is basically what happened 800 years ago, when these aliens come to town, and the town drove them away because they look weird, right? And then there's this meteor crashing in the mountains. And then the aliens come back because they want to save the humans in there, but it's already too late because, they've been infected by the red mist and they are lost. And they cannot be saved anymore.
Yeah.
Slightly lost. Like, they're melting away. Oh, my God.
So
Lady, what's wrong with you?
This is 800 years from now?
Yes.
Okay. One of my pet peeves, like, I'm reading, I just finished reading Scout. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this comic, an old Eclipse comics from the early
80s.
Yeah, I'll just make it big for a second to show everybody. Wonderful comic. Tim Truman's art is absolutely beautiful. But the thing is, it's set in 2024.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I started reading it in 2024. To their credit, things didn't get too crazy. Like the war made it so that technology didn't advance too much. So
yeah, and I had a similar problem because we are talked about. I said, okay, but this is in the medieval times. How would look the medieval times 800 years ago, right? And I believe, and we made a decision, right, that we have similar structures because, like I said, this is a fictional medieval setting, and I think maybe technology is not that advanced. I mean, if we are looking from now, 2025, and then 800 years, our society would be way, way, way different, possibly, right? But when it comes to medieval times, I can, let's do something similar, right? Don't deviate too much. I don't want to go to the Stone Age or something like that. It would be, weird.
Biggest advancement in medieval times would be where the pressure is applied. So usually military.
Exactly.
Right? Isn't Back to the Future set in 2015 and they have flying cars and fusions?
Yeah. Wasn't that the dream that was promised long ago, right? Flying cars. Yeah.
So anything else? It's 9:30. I wake up at 4 for work, so this is like my bedtime now. So anything you guys want to say, bring up, or that I didn't get a chance because I wasted your time talking about politics?
No. First of all,
it's all good. I mean, thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm awake now. I mean, I have to go to work in a couple hours too, but I'm going to get some Z's here. So I thank you, John, and sorry, I didn't catch your name anymore. RJ, sorry. For having us here. I really appreciate that. And I am thanking everyone that considers backing our book. Hans or David, do you want to add
Don't dox me. What's wrong with you? Anyway, no, thank you very much, John, for having us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. I like I said, once I saw your art, and no, sorry guys, like some people like you're not ready yet. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you have a reputation. Your reputation is always, you know, you show art and it's just scribbles and people are like, I'm not watching this guy's channel anymore. Your stuff was beautiful. Obviously, I didn't read your story yet, but it looks so good. And I've always said this, that comic books, I think RJ, you agree, the art gets you in the door.
Oh yeah.
The writing
Absolutely.
will keep you coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have only one chance to make an impression.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if the
And
impression
I know
is
it's
good,
not fair.
yeah.
Because we're 4 writers right here, so but that's the medium we chose to work in. It's the art
Absolutely.
that is gonna attract everybody our way.
Yeah.
And your art
I mean,
was
Yes.
And you're part of this trend that John and I are both a part of. I've been saying for a while now that it's basically like the 1980s when you had Filipinos doing a lot of the base art for Marvel Comics. Right now we got a lot of South Americans and Central Americans doing a lot of art for indie comics. I think it's a wave of the future. You guys are in on ground floor.
Yeah. Well, Zach 10 says he's looking forward to the campaign. Your campaign is active right now. You could pledge right now. And if you're talking about my campaign, it goes live Friday on Michael Bancroft's channel.
Cool.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, Michael is a great host. He had me there too, and I had an original art page. Was gone in seconds. I was so surprised. I mean, it was this cover, but then the pencil version, the original art. I think, dude, I just put it up there as a perk. I made a mistake in the beginning because when we go. Launch, so we checked all the perks. I said, is it good? Did we did everything right? And then so what I accidentally did is put the original art and as unlimited instead of 1. Wow. So somebody bought it. I said, okay, I need to get this out of my campaign before somebody claimed it again, right? So I just put it off the campaign, but somebody got lucky. So
yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to do for your artists too. I did that for my first couple of campaigns. I got someone from Japan just snatched up our cover art just like that first day.
Yeah, I was surprised. Okay, is anyone wanting this? And then somebody just bought it in 20 minutes. It did well. It's crazy.
This is Renzo's original art. Nice. I got to make sure now. I got to check to make sure that you can only buy it once. This is a page from Coney Waves. I bought a piece of art from Renzo, and he sent me a whole bunch because it's expensive to ship from Mexico.
Yeah,
because it disappears a lot. So he only trusted expensive courier service.
Yes,
so I was like, fill it up and we'll sell it. But some more pages from this is gone already. We got to take this down before somebody buys it.
Right. That's exactly what I had. I said, oh shit, it's still up there. I need to get it off.
Yeah. All right. So
are you going to do fine, John?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Yeah,
I got friends telling me the flip book idea. You cut your money in half, and other people like you already promised it. You got to stick to your promises.
Yes, no.
Stick to your guns. At this point, it's like okay, you make your decision, you made your campaign, like stick to it, and.
Yes, you know what? If you feel this is the way to go, then it's good, right? If you're just doing something else and you regret it, then you would always look back. Oh, I wish I did something.
Because philosophically, I'm opposed to multiple covers. I do see it as a money grab. I mean, your covers are beautiful, and I'm probably going to buy them because they are really good cover. Awesome. So, like, to me, this was a compromise. I'm going to put 2 covers on, but
yeah.
But for my first campaign, I got like Pat Broderick and Michael Gilbert. These guys weren't cheap, so I had to make their own comics to make their money back. But
yes.
But anyway, I'm babbling. RJ, anything you want to say?
No, except for this beautiful looking book. Go back it. Anybody who's in the chat, go back it. You got 11 days left.
Yes, and then let's say after the 11 days we're going to extend it anyway, right? Because
good.
At this point it's very hard to reach the goal now, unless somebody says, okay, and buy a lot of books, but I have to be realistic here. So I'm going to extend it, and we're going to see what happens. But we're going to grind it. We're going to, take it. What we're going to give us all. We're going to multiple shows, promote it every day, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But everybody gets the book anyway. I promise.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, one last question. When do you think this is going to ship?
It says wait a minute. It says on the campaign 2026, right? we're gonna probably do earlier. But
you got to give yourself a buffer, just because you never know what's going to happen.
exactly. So we extended for, like I said, a year because I want to have, you know, those unforeseen circumstances. You know, the things that happened in life. I want to have that incalculated, just in case. And so we're gonna hopefully before 2026 or something like that. Yeah, because I wanted to also have it on Font My Comic and on Kickstarter, so that's going to be a campaign as well. But I hope it's getting ready and be shipped before that, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah.
All right. Well, at that, I'm going to go to bed.
Sure.
You guys, I woke you up early and you kept me up late, so it's balanced. It's balanced.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Really looks.
Yeah.
Come back, come back and we'll talk.
Oh yeah, absolutely, sure. I mean, why not?
But it's going to close out. Remind me and we'll come back. But thanks a lot, and I would be remiss in my duty if I didn't say I'm going live Friday. RJ, you got any news to announce?
Nope, we're still waiting on a cover for Fade to Blue before we launch that.
Oh, okay, yeah, Fade to Blue's coming out. I knew you had something. I'm just getting sleepy now. But thanks a lot, everybody.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, good luck, John, with your campaign.
Thanks a lot. I'm going to play my trailer one more time, and then we're going to be out. So
I got my streams starting right up, and I will put your campaign on while I'm talking, just to show everybody, because this is a campaign I need to promote. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.